I have to record this a second time because I messed up my audio channels, but whatever. Maybe it's for the better because the first time I recorded this, I yapped like 10 minutes. So to start this off, if you want to skip my yapping at the beginning, there's a timestamp in the description, or if you just look at the playback bar, there should be a second section at the end of the video where I just play the test, so you can just hear the test for yourself and skip everything I have to say. But if you have like 5 minutes of your time, then yeah, you can just continue watching the video. So I have a couple microphones and I'm about to sell some of them. For example, I have a brand new Sennheiser MKH 416 I bought a year ago and until now barely used. I've plugged it in like 3 times because I actually treat it more like a collection piece, you could say. And I have a Deity S-Mic 3, which I used more because I don't like it as much. It's kind of ironic that I use the mic that I don't like more than the one I like, but it's just much cheaper. So my thought is, if I break it accidentally, I've used it for like work, so if I break it accidentally, it's much cheaper to replace. Whatever. So I bought the S-Mic 3 also like a year ago, and it's a pretty new mic. I think it came out like 1 or 2 years ago, and if we just look at this, it's pretty cheap if you compare it to a 416. It's 403 euros. I think I paid like 416, something like that. If you compare that to a 416, that one is 1,000 usually. I think when I bought mine a year ago, it was actually on sale at some website. So yeah, I was able to save like 100 or 200 euros there, but it's about 1k. So the interesting thing is, when it comes to self noise, which is important to me, especially in shotgun mics, since you have to hang them further away. So self noise does play a role here more than, let's say you compare condenser mics and there's one with 7 dB and one with 10. It's not like a deal breaker instantly, right? I mean, a U87 has I think 12 dB of self noise, and that thing's used for the biggest productions. Even more interesting, a Sony C800G lists about 18 dB of self noise in the unidirectional mode, which is insane, right? That's like D mic and it has 18 dB self noise. That's crazy. But yeah, that just proves my point. It doesn't matter too much in some microphones, but with shotgun mics, it is quite a thing because you're not right on them most of the time. I'm right on them mostly when I use them, but for clients, they're not really, about having a mic in their face. And so I look up the self noise of every mic that I'm about to buy. So a 416, by the way, I'm always pulling the specs from the manufacturer site. So you can see Sennheiser.com. This is the official Sennheiser website, and the other one is the official Deity website. That's important. So a 416 lists 13 dBA of self noise, which is already considered pretty low for a shotgun mic. They usually have like 14 to 16, something in there, maybe even up to 18. So 13 dBA is pretty good for a shotgun microphone. Now, I came across the Deity S-Mic 3 and it lists an incredible 12 dBA self noise, which is only 1 dB difference, but at half the price. And it is quieter in the end, at least when you listen to the specs. So I thought, okay, let's buy this thing if it's really the same as a 416 sound-wise, pretty much. And it's even a bit quieter and it's only half the price. Jesus, I would rather have 2 of these than one 416, right? So by now I used the Deity mic a couple times with clients and I noticed that it's not all that quiet, at least when you push it. When you're right on the mic, it's not a problem, but when you have to hang it like a meter away, it really shows. So I did this little test. I describe how it works down here. One thing that's important to note is that I used a Zoom F3 recorder in 32-bit float mode. So the gain that I set doesn't really matter, but I had the same settings on both channels. And then from that recording that I did, you can see here I tapped very lightly on the microphones to make sure that I don't get them wrong, because it would really suck if this channel is the 416 and this channel is the Deity. But yeah, I just make sure which mic is which channel. And then I record from the same distance, both mics were the same distance from the sound source, which was my phone. I recorded a 2 kilohertz sine wave. I played it back for you for a second, but it's really loud, so be aware. So I just recorded that and normalized it on both mics here. And in the same recording as that loud part, you can see if I click this, in the same recording we have the quiet part, which is me just sitting there and doing nothing, being really quiet. Now you'll be able to hear my PC fans in this, but it doesn't really matter because the white noise, if you, boost the mic that much, if I take off the normalization, it's really quiet. But if you boost it that much, the white noise takes over and the fans don't really matter too much. You can still hear the difference. But yeah, I did this for both mics. This in one take, and down here with the Deity you can see I did the same, also the same thing. So then I normalized both of these so they're the same level, and now you can compare them. Now I'm gonna play this back in a second for you, but as I said, I think I said it in this take, this was not meant to be public, so I talk German in here, doesn't matter too much, but be aware. I just thought, since in my opinion either I have a broken mic or Deity is flying, so I thought this might be interesting to some people, and I didn't find a lot of noise comparisons like this. Now I have a couple mics laying around, so if you want want to see any other mics compared like this, especially when it comes to noise, like self-noise, noise floor, you can write a comment and maybe I have it lying around. But yeah, I'll play it back for you now and that's gonna be the video. Deity S-Mic 3, Channel 2 versus MKH 416, Channel 1. Dann nochmal der Sprachtest, das ist das Deity S-Mic 3. Ich bin ungefähr 10 cm vom Mikrofon weg. Und das ist das Sennheiser MKH 416. Test, 1, 2.